momento prego la chiamano per una collettiva. Bleiben Sie bitte am Apparat, Sie werden für ein Konferenzgespräch verlangt. Un instant s'il vous plaît, on vous demande pour une conversation conférence.
Pronto? Ciao Poppy! Adesso vi passo Chiara!
We're going on a tour around the world. It'll take a bit of time because the world's quite big.
È una conferenza telefonica.
It's a conference call where I give a strong spiritual thought that we can live together. When we call the zones and they answer, hello, how are you? So it's the life of a family. It's wonderful. Its aim is to help us go on a holy journey, a journey towards holiness.
Erano I tempi di guerra.
It was wartime. Everything collapsed before our eyes. We were young, we had dreams for the future. Houses, studies, loved ones, careers. Everything was destroyed. The Lord was speaking one of His eternal words to us. All is vanity, nothing but vanity. It was from that complete destruction of all that had been so precious to our hearts that our ideal was born. It was easy to speak of this ideal when everything that could have attracted us spoke of death. We felt that only one ideal was true and immortal. It was God. Seeing the hatred that was causing everything to collapse, we suddenly saw clearly the one who does not die. And we saw Him and loved Him in His essence, God as love.
This is how the story of the Focolare movement began. And it's always worth going back to our roots to understand the real meaning of our lives today. We chose this text of Chiara Lubic's because we are living in troubled times, full of problems facing the whole world, and also where people themselves feel disorientated. That's why I like to think of this link-up as a place where we can meet together and share our struggles, our pain, but also our dreams and our hopes to be able to leave here as part of that change that all of us in the world are waiting for. We want to thank Federico from the Centre for the Gen 3 and the Teens for Unity. I'm Sarah Maloney. I live in Rome and I work for Italian television. Let's listen to what Chiara Lubic said about this in 2002.
El Salvador. Singapore.
Saluti della comunità che è qui che ti sta ascoltando.
Hello from me too, to everybody.
Manila.
What time is it there? It was 8 o'clock in America, but we're one just the same, no matter what time it is.
Grazie.
Thank you. In the link-up, we truly experience love that reaches out and comes back because of how thankful you are and the way you make it your own. In specific circumstances, an excellent prayer that we can say with renewed enthusiasm and with all our mind and heart is, "You, Lord, are my only good." In fact, we all realize that quite often, while we are working, writing, speaking, or resting, or doing something else, that some slight attachment can creep into our hearts, attachment to ourselves, to things, to people. Giving into these would be a terrible setback for our spiritual life. St. John of the Cross said, "It makes no difference whether a bird is held down by a thread or by a rope. However fine the thread is, the bird is bound as if by a cord, until it can break it to fly away." And he continues saying, it's the same for a person who is bound to something. Despite all their virtues, they will never achieve the freedom of union with God. In these situations, we must really act immediately. And nothing can be more helpful, this is a recent experience of mine, than to say often to Jesus forsaken, you, Lord, are my only good. My only good. I have no other. I believe this is a very important prayer and extremely pleasing to God. It prevents us from being covered with the dust of earthly things. In living this, we are amazed. I am always struck by this and always have been, by how that phrase, only you, Lord, are my only good, gives a solemn change of direction to our spiritual life. It immediately puts us straight, as if it were the trustworthy needle in the compass of our journey towards God. Moreover, this way of acting is very much in line with our spirituality, in which the positive aspect prevails. By living what is good, whatever is wrong disappears. We are not so much called to detach ourselves from something, from ourselves or things or people, but to fill ourselves with something, with love for Him, who is everything for us. Instead of saying no, we prefer to say yes. This prayer, you, Lord, are my only good, is a wonderful way to live as true Christians who love God with all their heart and soul and not half-heartedly. It's also a sublime way to prepare ourselves for all the times we meet Him in His daily inspirations. It will also prepare us for our solemn meeting with Him at the dawn of that eternal day when the only thing that matters will be our love for God and for Him, our love for every neighbour. You, Lord, are my only good. What wisdom, what understanding, what light, what strength, what love, what perfection there is in those few words. May the Lord grant us to experience all the power contained in them.
Ecco qui.
I'm very happy to be here with Margaret Karan, the president of the Focolare movement. Welcome, Margaret.
Margaret, a me hanno colpito tanto.
I was very struck by Chiara's words when she said, we're not so much called to detach ourselves from things, from ourselves or from people, but to fill ourselves, because we're not people of no, but of yes. What did this thought inspire in you?
I made a few notes, because this thought made me make a very deep examination of conscience. You, Lord, are my only good. It's Psalm 15 that Chiara is quoting. And I knew that this was the thought for the link-up. So this week, I was trying to put it into practice. I was trying to live it and to repeat it several times a day. And I asked myself, what is my only good? What is my only good? And several things came to mind. The movement as a whole, the Focolare, my family, peace. Maybe these are all things that are beautiful and important, but I felt that these things are not my only good. So I thought truly this thought of Chiara's is so apt for now. I saw it that it's just right for this time of Lent, because what Chiara's just said to us puts us back into God and helps us to take the step of returning to Him, who is our only good, who gives meaning to all that we do. So I felt that I wanted to say, He is the absolute good, not all the rest, all the other things. So that's why then the movement, peace, the family, all of these beautiful and very important things have great value in themselves. I don't want to diminish them because they have huge value in themselves. And there are many other things that are a good for me. Health, for example, is a good that we have. We've just heard Jean-Paul's experience. But that to say that God is my only good doesn't diminish the value of all the other things. But this puts us in God and helps us to have this experience. At least for me, this is what happened during these few days. The movement belongs to God, is in God. Peace is in God. I find my family in God. Peace itself is a gift that only God can give us. So I really felt I wanted to make this conversion, which is the title of this thought, which was to change direction. And I felt this strongly, that during Lent now, we should make this change of direction. I wanted to make it in my own life to return to Him, because only He can give this meaning to our life at root. It's only God, truly. And then I found that Chiara's thought that we've heard is really in harmony with a psalm that I've had very much at heart in these last few days, which is Psalm 51, and which says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and put a new and right spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and sustain in me a willing spirit." So I thought, because I took these as words to live for these 40 days of Lent, and when I heard the link up, it really clicked, something clicked within me, because I thought, if God is my only good, then yes, I will have a clean heart. Yes, I will have a new and right spirit within me. I'll be a generous, a willing spirit. So I want to commit with all of you to choose God as our only good. As Chiara explained to us, it's our Jesus forsaken. He's our only good. So let's commit, all of us together, to love Him more than ever. And I thought this is what renews the whole of us, the whole of ourselves, all our relationships, all the things we propose we want to do, and it prepares us too for Easter. I thought this was the most beautiful thing that we can do, that we can live in this way so as to prepare for a most wonderful Easter. We can let the risen Lord live in us through this continuous prayer to Jesus forsaken, who is our only good. Not only that the risen Lord should shine out in us, but that we can truly give Him to those people that we meet, the people beside us. So this is what struck me, and this is my wish, my hope, as something I suggest that I want to live with all of you in the world, but that I wish for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret, because it's Easter on its way. I thought we won't have another chance to meet together before Easter, so I want to make the most to give these Easter greetings to each of you, and that this change of direction of our life will really bring about a change for us and in the life of the movement. But also the world will be a world with more peace, if we've got peace in our hearts first. So we commit ourselves for this. As Margaret said, the next link-up will be the 10th of June at 2 o'clock Italian time. And then, hot off the press, we'll have an update from Margaret and Jesus to Asia and Oceania that starts in a month's time. In fact, from the 11th of April to the 26th of May, they're visiting Korea, Japan, the Fiji Islands, Australia and Indonesia.
Un viaggio
a journey characterized by dialogue among Christians and among believers of many different religions. It will be a chance to get to know better the many peoples, cultures and rich traditions of that part of the world. During their trip, you'll be able to receive updates and news via the website and the social media of focolare.org. Now we're really at the end. I really want to greetings to everybody all over the world from all of us, and we'll see one another again on the 10th of June.